When God said, I am in verse 14, he's not answering the question, his name. Rather, he's confirming to Moses, I am who I am. I am who I claim to be. I am that being, the God of your fathers. First he's telling Moses, be sure, I am who I am. I am that being. I am ego, Amy, hold on. As we said in Septuagint, I am that being. That is the God of your father. And my name in verse 15 is, my name is Yahweh. And Salam ala Rasulullah. Today's presentation, we're going to comment on the misconception of I am as one of the name of God. Okay. Because 99% of the time when you're debating Christians, okay, either on the street or whatever you are, they will use John 8:48. Before Abraham was, I am. Okay, as the evidence for Jesus claiming to be God, or Jesus is God, because he said before Abraham was, I am is name of God, therefore Jesus claiming to be God. Okay, now there are many ways to refute this claim. From my own humble experience, I think the best way to do them, to refute this claim, is just straight away to ask them, to tell them, show me where in the New and Old Testament that I am is name of God. Okay, because we know Yahweh, or Jehovah, is used like almost 7,000 times. Okay, this is confirmed in the Old Testament. The Yahweh is the name of God, mentioned more than almost 7,000 times. But there's no way, not one place in the New Testament or the Old Testament that God is ever called I am. Okay, rather, unfortunately, like most subhanAllah, Muslims today, subhanAllah, we come in on Islam without qualification, without even reading the Quran or studying. We just regurgitate what we hear. This is also the same with Christians. 99% of the Christians who were using John 8:48 before Abraham was, I am, have never ever read the original story in Exodus chapter 3. Because if you read the story correctly, I am is not the name of God. Rather, God tells Moses clearly, Yahweh is my name, and this is my name forever. I am is not even a name. Rather, if you read in context, God is saying that I am that being, that is who is God of your fathers and your forefathers. Look, let's go to the verse. Let's not digress. So let's go to Exodus chapter 3, verse 13. We can show them. So look, let's read from here and put in context. So then Moses said to God, if I come to the people of Israel and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you, they will ask me, what is his name? What should I say to them? So Moses is asking the question, what is your name, and what should I say to them? So God said to Moses, I am who I am, the being. Okay, basically he's not saying right now, he's not answering the question, his name. He's saying that I am who I am. I am that God that is the God of your father who sent to you. I am that being. I am who I am. I'm not any other God or any other false deities. I am who I am. I am that God that you're saying. Because when Moses said, if I go to the people of Israel and say to them, the God of your father has sent to me. Okay? God right now is having a conversation with Moses. He's not answering the question of his name. He's saying that I am who I am. I am that being, that God of your fathers. Okay? And say this to them. Say this to the people of Israel. I am has send this to you. And if you read it in the Septuagint, it actually says, ego, Amy, hold on. I am that being. I am that being that has sent to you. I am the God of your fathers, okay, that has sent them to you. And then in verse 15, God also said to Moses, said this to the people of Israel. The Lord, okay, listen again, the Christians are doing very deception to their own believers. Actually, this here now says, say this to the people of Israel, Yahweh. Okay, the Lord of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob has sent me to you. Say, what is his name? Yahweh. And then what he said, this is my name forever. What name is? Yahweh. And thus I am to be remembered for all generations. So Yahweh is my name. Yahweh sent you, Moses, to them. Not I am. When God said I am in verse 14, he's not answering the question, his name. Rather, he's confirming to Moses, I am who I am. I am who I claim to be. I am that being, the God of your fathers. First he's telling Moses, be sure, I am who I am. I am that being. I am ego, Amy, hold on. As we said in Septuagint, I am that being. That is the God of your father. And my name in verse 15 is, my name is Yahweh. And then he says in verse 16, go assemble the elders of the Israelites and Israeli and say to them, Yahweh, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, Jacob, appeared to me and said, I have watched over you, I have seen that what you have done, etc., etc. So again, he said, go to the assembly of elders of Israel and say to them, Yahweh, not I am, not ego, Amy. Okay? Not ego, Amy. Yahweh, the God of your fathers. So if you read verse 13, 14, 15, 16 together, which most Christians, 99% Christians don't even read their own Bible. They just following someone and they say jump and they say how high, which this is our goal, is not to humiliate them. I mean, we all start off ignorant until we learn. This is a stage we all have to read and gain knowledge, and we have to educate the Christian out of their own sincerity, their own mistake, that they didn't refer back and verify the evidence that they've been told. That here clearly I am is not the name of God. He's not even answering Moses his name in verse 14. Rather, in verse 14, as I said, he is confirming to Moses that I am that being. I am the God. I am who I say I am. I'm not any false God. I am Yahweh. I am who I say I am, Moses. And my name is, verse 15 is Yahweh. Then verse 16, to go tell the Israelis, Yahweh, the God of your father, has sent them. And then, if we go on to the, if you go to Exodus verse, chapter 4, the next chapter, when Moses actually go to the Israelis, and he says, and his brother Aaron says, Yahweh has sent us. And then all the Israeli, they make sujood and they worship Yahweh. And then if you go to Exodus, chapter 5, then when they actually go to, Pharaoh, again, they say, Yahweh has sent me. Moses didn't say, I am sent me. Because if God has said to Moses, this is my name, is I am, why wouldn't Moses in the next chapter, when he actually go to the Israeli and go to Pharaoh, say, I am? He says, Yahweh. And his brother Aaron says Yahweh. So who would understand this conversation better? You, the Christians, the Pauline Christians who came 2,000 years later, or subhanAllah, Moses, who were actually speaking to God directly, and he understood what God meant, because we are now reading English translation, and this is also a deception of the Christian evangelists. Why do you translate all of the Bible, not word for word, literally word for word? You put translation into context, but here you translate word for word. I use I am, and then you try to, because why you want to show the parallel in John 8 back to Exodus. But yet, when in verse 15 and 16, when he actually says Yahweh, you put the Lord. Why do you translate Yahweh as the Lord? Okay, and then you translate I am literally. This is a deception, and this is why, subhanAllah, if you look at Bella Philip, when his wife went to study in Saudi Arabia, why did she want to, she even said, the reason why I want to study Arabic myself, because when people translate, think they lie. Now, this is why in Islam, we are encouraged, many mashaykhs say it's compulsory for you to study Arabic, so you can read the original text for yourself. You're not at the mercy of the translators, okay? And we know, subhanAllah, that the first people who ever said, I am, is actually name of God, is all from going Gentile Christians in the 2nd AD. Okay, you had Irenaeus, and we have the guy, I can't say his name. That guy. Two of those goings, okay, in the 2nd AD, they were the first person to say that I am is the name of God. Why? Because of John 8. Okay, so you have 200 years after Jesus, going Gentile Pauline Christian who started this idea that I am is the name of God. But if you look back, no Jewish rabbi, from my own humble research, no Jewish rabbi, no commentators of the Torah ever said I am is the name or person name of God. Rather, they say I am, it could be an attribute of God, etc. But no one said I am is the name of God, except Pauline, Gentile, Hellenistic, Greco-Roman, reverts. They are the one who first came up with this idea, I am is the name of God. So, I guess this is the easiest way to actually just go back to Exodus chapter 3, and show the Christians and put in context to tell them that I am is not the name of God. If, you say I am is the name of God, please substantiate your claim. Tell me any Jewish rabbi said I am is the name of God. Tell me why did Moses in the next chapter 4 and chapter 5, when he actually go to the Israelis and then he actually go to Pharaoh, he said, Yahweh sent me. He never said, I am sent me. Show me anywhere else in the Bible that God is being referred to as I am, except in Gospel of John, that you claiming that this Jesus claimed to be God. But we're saying that when Jesus said, before Abraham was, I am, because Abraham rejoiced, that if you go back again in context, rejoice, saying in my day, because before Abraham was, I am that promised Messiah that's going to be coming out the seed of Abraham. I am the promised Messiah. Anyway, so this is very easy to refute if you just refer them back to the verse, and this is from my humble experience. This is the best way to explain to them. Any obvious way, just many other way to do it, but I think this is the most direct, most easiest way, and then you can show them textual references, and this is the best way to do it. Subhanaka Allahumma hamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka.